Welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We are going to unpack a really fascinating piece of legal machinery that operates entirely out of sight for most of us, yet it is absolutely crucial for keeping the vast open oceans safe and orderly. We're looking at the very specific rules governing maritime incident reporting and investigatory powers. You can really think of this as the ultimate procedural. It's a strict set of rules that instantly transform sea captains and port officials into a highly coordinated detective unit the very second a voyage takes an unexpected turn.
So think about this for a second. What exactly happens when the unthinkable happens at sea? We are not talking about a fender bender on Main Street where you just pull over and call the local precinct, right? When a massive vessel is miles from land, totally isolated from traditional law enforcement, who actually steps up? How does the law literally reach into the middle of the ocean to make sure justice and record-keeping are maintained? Well, we're going to break down the dense legal text that answers these exact questions, and we'll frame it as the high-stakes, real-world scenario it truly is.
Here is how we're going to visualize this today. We'll break this complex maritime law into 5 clear chapters: incidents at sea, the captain's duty, the official investigators, the detective's toolkit, and finally, do not interfere. Let's just dive right in.
Chapter 1. Incidents at Sea.
Now, the law doesn't just activate for crimes. According to Sections 293 and 294 of the legal text, this entire administrative machinery springs into action for 3 very specific life-altering events on an Indian vessel: a birth, a death, or a missing person. The absolute moment someone is born, dies, or goes missing during a voyage, the clock starts ticking. These aren't just personal milestones or tragedies. Under maritime law, they are highly regulated administrative events that demand immediate legal scrutiny.
Moving on to Chapter 2, the captain's duty.
The law places a pretty heavy, immediate burden on the master of the vessel. They're basically the first responder here. Step 1. Upon arrival at the port or even the very next port of call, the master cannot simply dock the ship and go home. Step 2. The text specifically mandates that the master must inform the Director General and the proper officer of the port forthwith, and that literally means immediately. They have to report the birth, death, or missing person along with the cause of death or any other relevant details. And then step 3, once that information is received, the proper officer officially steps in to inquire into the cause. The master is that vital communication link between the isolated ship and authorities on the mainland.
So the really crucial point is what happens during that inquiry. The proper officer doesn't just ask a couple of quick questions and nod their head. Under Section 294, subsection 2, the officer must investigate the cause of death and then officially endorse the vessel's logbook. They have to put it in writing. They must declare whether the statement of the cause of death recorded in that logbook is, in their official opinion, true or the contrary, based on the results of their inquiry. They are literally stamping the official record with a verdict of truth or falsehood.
But what if that inquiry reveals suspected foul play? Well, if it appears to the proper officer that a death on board was caused by violence or other improper means, the situation escalates rapidly. The officer must either report the matter right up the chain to the Director General or, and this is incredible, if the emergency of the case demands it, they are legally authorized to take immediate steps to bring the offender to trial. Right then and there, they become the tip of the spear for maritime justice.
Which brings us to Chapter 3, the official investigators.
Before we list exactly who these people are, we really need to understand their authority. Section 295 essentially grants these individuals a very specific, very powerful legal badge. It states that certain persons shall be deemed to be public servants within the meaning of Clause 28 of Section 2 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. This is not just some casual job title. It's a foundational legal status that gives them absolute authority to do their jobs without any interference. They carry the full weight of the law the moment they step onto that deck. Just look at the sheer variety of specialists who actually get this badge. According to the text, this includes every surveyor, every single person appointed to report on marine casualties, every authorized investigator or inquirer, and fascinatingly, anyone they call to their aid. It also includes specific specialists, like those directed to investigate explosions or fires on a vessel, and any other officer appointed to perform functions under this act. It's this massive, multidisciplinary task force, tailor-made for the incredibly complex environment of a modern vessel.
All right, Chapter 4, the detective's toolkit.
These officers hold immense, sweeping powers, and it's super easy to understand when we visualize it like this. Under access, these empowered persons can board and inspect any vessel, its machinery, equipment, and its certificates.
They are mindful not to unnecessarily delay the voyage, sure, but if needed, they can literally require the vessel to be taken into a dock for inspection. They can also enter and inspect any premises necessary for their inquiry. When it comes to interrogation, they have the power to summon anyone they think fit, examine them, demand answers to their inquiries, and legally administer oaths or require declarations of truth. And finally, under evidence and control, they can require and enforce the production of all relevant books, papers, or documents. And perhaps most dramatically, they have the power to muster the crew, meaning they can command the entire crew to assemble for inspection or questioning. They literally leave no stone unturned.
Finally, Chapter 5. Do not interfere.
The law leaves absolutely zero room for ambiguity here. Section 296, subsection 2, puts up a massive legal shield. It is crystal clear. No person shall hinder or obstruct any officer or person referred to in subsection 1 from going on board any vessel or otherwise impede him in the exercise of his duties or the exercise of his powers under this act. You cannot block them, you cannot slow them down, and you certainly cannot hide evidence from them. Obstructing these maritime officials is a major, direct violation of the law. They have a job to do, and the law makes absolutely sure they can do it.
So, we visualized the triggers, the immediate duties of the captain, the designated public servants, their vast investigatory toolkit, and the strict legal shield protecting them. It is a wonderfully bright and organized system designed to handle the darkest moments at sea. But I want to leave you with a provocative thought. With these incredible powers officially on the books, how do we actually effectively execute this on a logistical scale across the world's vast, unpredictable oceans? The legal framework is totally airtight, but the ocean, well, the ocean is endless. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope this breakdown made this dense, essential maritime law really easy to understand at first glance. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you next time.